Welcome back to the Gun Show. We're so excited to have you. And today we are talking Hwacheon. I used to call it Hwacheon. I don't know why, but then they taught me it's like watch and then on, or like Mr. Miyagi, watch on, watch off. I don't know, but this is how we're doing it. So Hwacheon. Today we have some really great guests on here. We got my buddy Eddie Saunders. Everyone knows him. My girl Fernanda. Everybody knows her. And my buddy Arthur Field. Everyone knows him as well. So you might notice we're all wearing the same shirt, which is kind of fun. So if you want a shirt also and you're watching this, come to the show. We'll get you a shirt. But this is about Hwacheon today. We are going to IMTS. We're going to spend time with them. We actually have 2 slots with Hwacheon, Monday 10 to 12 and Tuesday 3 to 5. If you want to meet up with the MTDCNC team, the booth number is 338119. I have a great relationship with Hwacheon, really wonderful Korean company. I'm actually going to have my 3, I won't call them guests, coworkers, superstars, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. But I'm going to have them lead the Q&A for me today, and we'll just kind of pitch in on the technology itself because I want you guys to be as excited as I am about Hwacheon after visiting Korea. And just for fun, just to let everyone know before we get into some of the fun travel tips and details of eating delicious Korean barbecue and seeing some of the technology as well, I'm going to just spit through some of these. Spit sounds aggressive. I hope I don't do that in like physically. I don't want to spit on all my friends. Yeah, they're moving away already. Yeah, careful. But I'm going to go through these numbers and these machines that are going to be at IMTS for everyone who's watching right now. They're going to have actually, they're not going to have an AF4 because it was sold before the show. That's how good the machines are. But they are going to have an I2, a VT1650, which is a large VTL. Other machines on display will be the Sirius. I love the name Sirius. Sirius UM. HIMG1 Pro, which is graphite machining. A lot of fun there. The VT650 YCM VTL with Y-axis. D3, it's a lot of numbers, guys. It's a lot of numbers. D3 5AX, 5-axis machining center with automation system in collaboration with Productivity Incorporated, who also joined me in Korea. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Vesta 500T as a twin spindle vertical machining center. The High-Tech 650BL YMC large horizontal lathe with Y-axis, and an M1 5AX, which is a 5-axis machining center with Harmony Control. What is Harmony Control? Maybe they'll ask me. We'll see if I queued them up well enough. We'll find out. But I think all of these guys have done podcasts on their own before and don't even need my help. But with that being said, watch on, watch off. We're watching on today. What kind of questions do you guys have about this technology? I don't care who goes first. You can even interrupt each other. It'll be a fun day. Welcome back to the Gun Show, my friends. This is the VIP edition.
Well, no worries. Well, first, I came prepared for this conversation with my watch on. That being said, lots of machinery. They're going to be featuring so much there. But aside from that, we're going to be able to see that because we're all going to visit them at IMTS. But you went there, you went to Korea, you got to see the heart and the soul. And I don't know about y'all, what you bring to the market is fantastic, but what makes you a wonderful company and the entities on the inside, that's what I'm really interested in. What's so amazing about this company with your adventure?
Great question, and way to tee me up. I actually get chills thinking about it a little bit because I didn't recognize going there what I was actually going to see. And I love Korea. I've been to Korea a bunch of times. I mean, it was part of my route during 2016-17 of building distributorships and partnering with all these companies. I've worked directly with Samsung and LG and Hanwha and all these folks that are out in Korea, with their head engineers trying to help. I actually reduced at one time cycle time from 7 days to 1 day by implementing a 30 thou diameter drill and being able to go 65,000 RPM to make the TVs, the molds for the TVs the size of the one behind us pretty much and bigger. So I've done a lot there. So for me to say I went to Korea and saw something that was unexpected, it's kind of a cool thing, right? Just based on that. So what I didn't realize, the first thing I didn't realize is that Hwacheon was the first machine tool maker in all of Korea. There are great machine tools that come out of Korea now, but they were the first one. The first one to start it is still sitting over there. A second thing I didn't recognize initially until they told me and to get excited for was they make all of their own castings. They have their own foundry. And there's not a whole lot of people that make their own castings. Most people outsource, and sometimes they outsource from a lot of different entities just based on lead times. So that was the second thing. And the third thing is hand scraping, which we want the most precise machines on the planet to have hand scraping. And I'm going to go into a little bit of detail for the audience. What is hand scraping, just for fun? There's sometimes some misconceptions. Sometimes people think it's overrated. What is hand scraping? Well, in the most precise areas of the manufacturing world, what people will do is take a large casting, or any casting, but a large casting. Sometimes it can even be the pallet changers or something like that as well, but we'll stick with large castings for the base of the machine. And typically there's a base and a piece that goes on top of the base itself. And what happens is when you put that piece on, even if both are ground to absolute precision before they're placed on top of each other, there's going to be some bend. There's going to be because they're just heavy, right? They're just big pieces. And sometimes companies will put shims in there at that point because they don't want to take the time to take the part off again and then make some changes, put it back on again, make some changes, take it off again, make some changes. So they'll pop in shims. Typically when you pop in shims, it's a lower overall lifespan of that said machine. And that's where you get the 5 years before maintenance or 8 years before maintenance, sometimes even a couple years before maintenance. But a company like Hwacheon, what they do is they take the machine off, they see all the imperfections, they actually put like a little goo or something on the two pieces as castings. When they put it on and there's the deflection in the material, when you pull it off again, you see exactly where those deflections are. So hand scraping is an ancient 100 years, ancient art where you get this really cool hip movement, you get all sexy with it, you get this really cool hip movement, and you move away those deviations in that perfection right where the goo, for lack of better terms, I'm sure there's a better term for it, but goo shows exactly where it's at. Then you put it back on top again and remove it again. And until you see zero deviations based on hand scraping of the imperfection that's created from two pieces being very heavy, being put together, that's when it's actually perfect. And that's when that's what hand scraping brings to the table. So you invest in a machine that's going to last you 20, 30, 40, into the next generation. If you're buying for your kids, you want your next generation to take over your machine shop. That's investing in the future instead of just the now to get something done. So those were the three major things I saw when I headed to Korea. Was that a long enough answer? I talk a lot, don't I?
All I can see is just hand scraping and all on your hips.
Is that what you...
It must be all on the hips.
Yeah.
Like Adam Sandler?
Yeah, exactly.
All in the hips. It's all in the hips.
If you don't move your hips, it won't be perfect.
That's right. It'll be all crooked. You're going to take more time.
But the thing too about hand scraping is it's only the top tier, the highest quality machines that still actually get that process, because like you were talking about, it's the on and off again, checking. So to get that and to not have shims that are going to wear out, that you're going to have to continue to service and to maintain and to watch for twist and bend, most of the time you don't see that in your machine until you get defective parts returned from your customer with weird abnormalities. And now you got to troubleshoot it because, oh, the shim in the rear way wore out and we didn't realize.
Yeah, that's true.
It creates such a headache when it's a shimmed machine. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a huge place for them, but if you don't keep up on the maintenance, you get these weird little tweaks. So when you're going high end, when you're going high accuracy, high repeatability, high volume, you want a hand scraped machine. You don't want the shimmed machines because they will wear out in weird ways and cause problems downstream for your customers.
At EBITDA Growth Systems, we guarantee to double your value in 3 years. Well, instead of telling you about a guarantee, how about if I tell you a story? We had a shop owner come to us at an event saying, I'm not sure if you can help us. He said, we have our credit lines maxed out in our business. I have a second mortgage on my home, it's maxed out. I'm not sure what to do. I have a payroll coming up next week and I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Can you help us? We said we weren't sure, so we came in and we came alongside of him. In 18 months, he went from not having any money to having over $800,000 in the bank and having a 6 times exit what his value was at that day. And now he's living a life that he always dreamed of with his family. And it's fantastic, and that's what's really rewarding for us, and that's what EBITDA Growth Systems is all about. If you want to know more about EBITDA Growth Systems, go to www.ebitagrowthsystems.com, EBITDA growthsystems.com, and go to our contact page where I will reach out to you personally.
That's exactly right. And I'm going to go a little bit into the foundry itself as well, based on quality, as you just described, Arthur. And when you have the ability to check every single casting that comes your way for imperfections, even before you get to the building aspect, and you decide to scrap some or whatever it might be, or maybe outsource to companies who don't require that high a capability, you're now starting from the ground with the best that you can do, the best that's out there. On top of that, what a lot of people don't realize is that they don't only make castings for themselves. In fact, there's a very large couple of robotic companies out there, we won't say the colors of those machines, that do a lot of casting work with these guys as well. And because these companies all work together and require that type of precision and accuracy, you already know that you're starting with something great. Hwacheon, what I like about them, as I continue to have a run-on sentence, is they are huge in relationships. Eddie, you're a relationships guy. Fernanda as well. Arthur, so are you. This industry, we kind of thrive on that, right? When they sell you a machine, they want to be a partner for life. They want to make sure that you're taken care of. So if somebody goes by this booth, it's almost like you're a family member. You know, they sat me down while we were at their booth in Korea. They sat me down while we were at their open house, you know, in Chicago, and introduced me to the people that they were currently working with. And every single one of them responded with, I feel like family when I work with them. They're always there for me. If there's ever service and support needed, they're there right away. They're communicating right away. And in the world we live in, as fast-paced as we are, service and support, I mean, we all say it all the time. You can sell the first machine, but you're not going to sell the second one without service and support. So something that they focus on, that I think is important for everyone to understand. If you're stumbling around IMTS and you see that Hwacheon logo, just stop in and say hi. See, I bet you they will treat you like family.
It's like what they told us at the open house, that we are now like family to them, like a married couple. So they really treat us as a family the first time we saw them.
Yeah, from day one, and they've always been that way.
That's awesome. And the funny thing, and I think I told you this before, Tony. One, I used to call it Hwacheon, like I was like,
with the H in front.
With the H in front, like heavy on the yeah. But they were also the first CNC machine I ever put my hands on. Way back when I got into CNC machines back in 2004, my first one was a twin turret, twin spindle Hwacheon. Sorry.
Well done.
I will get this right. I will get this right. But I was doing transmission hubs for Allison Transmission that goes into GM, and we were holding tenths, and it was great. Op 10, Op 20, they left running cast. It was just such a sweet little machine to see how they've grown, and watching your videos, your tours, and now we get to check them out on IMTS. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
We're pumped, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I've already put you on the schedule for that one, so you will be filming
perfect.
on. Just so you know, you may not have known that. I think Eddie will be joining you for that one, so
Nice.
so that'll be a good day. I do want to bring up, as we've talked a lot about the history and where they come from in Korea, just the fact that their machines are everything from an entry level. We don't like to use entry level anymore, do we? But I'm going to use it because it's common knowledge. There is a machine that's cost effective that allows us to get into the market with a high quality machine at a low cost. Let's say it that way. And it could be, you know, a simple single turret with one spindle, two spindles, and it's about as basic, to some of the more massive 5-axis machines when somebody needs to get some larger aerospace parts. You know, oil and gas can get into the big stuff as well. But they also have very specific machines that are built on speed for things like graphite and high precision. And then we haven't really talked about the Harmony software, but Harmony software is this unique interface that they've recently released and created that is so intuitive to the parts being made that it will adapt to the programming that that operator is putting into the system itself. Now, there is far more than I actually know about Harmony. I've had a couple of conversations, much like I've had a lot of times where my mind is blown because these people are so much smarter than me. So I would say, go to IMTS, ask about Harmony, see what this thing can do for you. We're going to start wrapping this up. Are there any other questions you guys have for me or any other input you'd like to add, either IMTS or Hwacheon in general?
Look, right now, kids are looking at what they're going to be doing in the future, and some of them don't even know what a career in manufacturing could look like. So what we're trying to do is support organizations and initiatives that are telling kids what a career in manufacturing is. So help us give back by purchasing Shop Floor Coffee. You can find us at shopfloorcoffee.com. We're on LinkedIn. Contact us. Let us know how we can support you and your organization.
I'm kind of curious. So lastly, knowing that everyone goes to IMTS to try to see the latest, the greatest, the most innovative, everything. This is where you show
We've waited
up,
2
you
years
show
to
out.
do it. Yeah,
exactly. And though we're not trying to look behind the curtains by any means, but I'm curious, did you have anything you think that they're really going to be able to highlight, whether it's machine, whether it's process, or just the people for this big show that's upcoming?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's all of it, really. I mean, I know it's a cliche, stereotypical answer. You'll walk into the booth, you'll feel like family, they'll greet you, they'll answer the questions that you have instead of just trying to pitch you a sale and get you, get something done. But I mean, automation is key right now, right? I mean, automation, everyone's doing it. They thrive in the world of automation as well. And what I really like about them is I had an interview with a company who bought 50 machines since 2016. Every single one of them has run from day one without issue, but they're always there to make sure they're happy, to make sure they're taken care of, to make sure the programming is good, to make sure the programming is fine-tuned. But 50 machines that's how you know a company matters. So that's what you get when you walk onto this booth, is that style of relationship. And their machines can cater to your specific needs. Oh, I left this part out. I'm so glad I got long-winded, Eddie. Thank you for this last question. The fact that they build their own castings is that they can quite literally go into a machine shop, or a machine shop can come to them and say, this is my problem, and they will custom make something that you need because they can build it from scratch instead of getting it from someone else and trying to do modifications afterwards or trying to do something to make it work. Well, it's not exactly what you need, but you like us, right? Well, here's a machine that'll probably come closest to working with. No, they will customize that machine for you based on your needs. So thank you for asking that question.
That's crazy. I can't wait to check out their booth.
Yeah, maybe we'll get you over to Korea next time. Simtoast was just this past few months ago, but we'll get you there in about a year and a half.
There you go.
Shout out to our buddies Robert and Alexa and Mr. Young. Thank you for everything you do. For everyone who's watching, listening right now, if you missed the beginning of this for some weird reason and you tuned in at who does that? Nobody does that. I do that in movies so I can see what's happening at the end, but not podcasts. So anyway, for podcasts, we will be there at IMTS on Tuesday from 10 to 12, and we will also be there on Monday from 10 to 12 and Tuesday from 3 to 5. Booth number one more time, if I can find it while I'm longer. Here it is, 338119. We will see you all there. Thank you all for watching, listening, paying attention. These are the superheroes of MTDCNC. Thank you all for joining me. We appreciate you.